Hello all. Today we would like to discuss about the project we have been working on in the past few months. So the project is identifying brick-lane locations from Sentinel-2 imagery. So the team members who have been working on this project is Sarkadam Raviteja and Abhiram Raila. So we would like to thank Praveen Garmela sir for giving us the guidance and also helping us, overcoming the roadblocks we faced during the time of the project. And coming to the introduction part, the major motivation behind taking up this project is that most of the major cities uh, have some kind of bricklane locations on the outskirts of the city, and these bricklanes have been a major contributor to the pollution in that city. It is around, they're contributing to around 2 to 3% of the overall pollution in that cities, and most of the major cities in India have been facing the same problem. And these bricklines are not easy to access because you can't monitor them regularly, because at least manually. And also they are not present throughout the year, so in implementing regulations on them becomes a tad bit difficult. So satellite imagery might provide us a solution, because we don't need any physical workforce, and we can monitor all the land uh, whenever we want and in any weather conditions. And the other problem is also that wherever these bricklines are location, generally the agriculture land which have been used for this process, it will be there will be deterioration in that. So there will be some kind of pollution in land and also in water. So to overcome this, it would be better if we have some kind of regulations over these bricklane locations. So that was the solution we are trying to provide from this project. So coming to the data sources. So in terms of data sources, we have collected images from Sentinel-2 satellite imagery, which has been provided by Google search engine. And we are also able to extract the boundary annotations for those images which we have collected. So these boundary annotations are nothing but the x coordinates and y coordinates, which specify exactly where our target is present in that particular image. So the models we have been using is CNN with transfer learning, YOLO version 2 and version 3. So let us start with the beginning. So, we thought of doing image processing. So the first thought would be getting is using the entire image directly and getting the results. But the problems we'll be facing there is that we'll not be extracting as many features as we want from that particular image. And and also we might not highlight those features which we want. So we have gone with neural networks, and especially convolution neural networks. And the reason we have gone with that is convolution layers and the max pooling layers present in CNN provide us with an extra pre-processing step. We'll be extracting all the major features, and we'll be trying to highlight them. So which will help us get a better accuracy. And the reason we are using transfer learning along with CNN is that we are having a very small data set of 450 images, which is pretty tiny in terms of extracting any kind of meaningful features from the images we are having. So in the advantage of transfer learning is that we'll be taking some pre-trained network which has been already trained. So we'll be trying to take those coefficients or weights, and we will be trying to modify them, fine tune them to our liking on whatever use case we are trying to make our project. And based on that fine tuning, we can get better results with very less training data available. So I'll be walking you through the code of the project. So the transfer learning is done on VGG16. So this is a pre-trained network which has around 13.8 million parameters. It has been trained to identify 1,000 different classes. VG16 has in its architecture has 12 convolution layers along with 4 fully connected layers. We'll be trying to eliminate the fully connected layers, and we'll be taking only the convolution and max pooling layers. And these layers we'll be freezing them, because we don't want to change the parameters in that. and we'll be only training the model based on those frozen parameters. So initially here we'll be loading the images and also the annotations, and we'll trying to map each image with its annotation here. And once we get there, so here we can see that we are trying to do the scaling part, that with the pre-processing. So as we are working with images, we can't deal with any negative pixels. So we'll be using the first normalization method, where we'll be dividing with the highest number, so as our value will be from 0 to 1. Once this is done, as we can see here, we are trying to get the weights from the VGG16 network, pre-trained network, and we have specified include top as false. So we are not taking the final four fully connected layers, and we'll be writing a code for that, so as to create our own fully connected layers, and we'll be taking the remaining 12 convolution layers. And so we can see that as we have given the trainable as false, so those 12 layers, those parameters will be frozen, and they'll not be trained when we are training the network. So we have created four layers, four new fully connected layers. Out of that, for three layers, we have used ReLU as an activation function. The reason we use ReLU is it's faster, and also it doesn't entertain negative values, so it would be good, and that is good for image processing. And the final output layer, we are having our activation function as sigmoid, because it's a classification problem, so we went with sigmoid activation function. So once that is done, we have trained the model, we have compiled the model, and I'll be showing you a demo of the project. So we can see this is the image we are trying to predict, and here is our brick lane. Will try to see if our model is trying to will be able to predict that. Yeah, we can see that in a boundary box condition, you can see that our model is able to predict where that particular brick lane is present. But we'll also do the same thing for another image. So we can see that in this image, there are two brick lanes, and our model is only able to identify one brick lane out of that. So this is the major drawback we have observed with CNN in transfer learning, because in this methodology we'll be only able to detect one object per image, because if there are multiple brick lanes in a single image, which we have trained with, so our CNN will not be able to detect that. So it is only equipped enough to detect just one object in one image. So that is the reason we went with YOLO architecture. So this is a major drawback for that, and the YOLO architecture will be explained by my teammate Ravi.
This is Raviteja. Up to now, my teammate Abhiram has discussed about CNN, and we are having the cons like it is not able to handle multiple objects in single image. So it will be handled by the YOLO, you only look once. So now I am going to give some quick demo regarding YOLO version 2. So why YOLO? YOLO is YOLO. It deals with object detection in a different way. It takes the entire image in a single instance and predicts the bounding box coordinates and class probabilities for the given boxes for the box. The biggest advantage of using YOLO is its superb speed. It's incredibly fast and can process 45 frames per second. And definitely it is more accurate in results when compared to CNN. So here in YOLO version 2, the required format is Y matrix, and it should have the some parameters like PC, which defines an object whether it is present or not, and the bounding conditions like X, Y, H, W, which specify the bounding box if there is an object, and also the class, how many number of classes are will be there in an image. For example, in different images we are having human, bike, and different objects. So if there are three different objects, then we have to specify three classes. But in our scenario, we are having bricklin detection, so here we are having only one class. So in our case we are having only one class, so C1. So we are having PC, BX, BY, BH, BW, and C1. Now I am going to explain my code with the concepts linked with the YOLO version 2. So these are the packages I have imported from Python libraries. Like here we are using Keras, and we have imported a image data center data generator. So initially I have taken the images and the annotations from the specific folders. So we have processed those images and those libraries, sorry, and those annotations. For example, if you want to visualize those images with those annotations, so we can get like this. The original image is like this, and after image with bounding boxes, now we are able to see with the bounding box of those images. So after that we have to prepare the data set for feeding the data into YOLO architecture. The image has to be divided into n by n parts, and y vector for each cell need to be found out. So initially I have said like y matrix, y vector, what has to be there. So the below function does that work. So here we are taking the xmin, ymin, yxmax, and ymax annotations of those boxes. And here in the below images you can see like above function is giving us the boxes like images in those boxes. So you can clearly observe the bricklins from the above function. So after doing the pre-processing step, we have to build the YOLO architecture. So we have built the YOLO architecture from scratch. Like here we have used convolution 2D layers, max pooling, batch normalizations, and some other activation functions like ReLU. So in this we are having different layers, and also the input size of our image is 384 by 384. So in each layer we are having like convolution 2D, and also the batch normalization and the activation functions. And also in YOLO v2 we have used the skip connection, which is after the layer 13th, and it is connected before the layer 22. And also in this we are having total of 22 layers where we have built the neural network. So after that, in order to run those model, and also we have to write the loss function, because we need to check whether how much loss is there, whether it is predicting or not. So when we are dealing with the loss function, especially in our case, we have to deal with localization loss, which is nothing but the x, y, w, and h coordinates, like which is related to the bounding box values. So we have to deal with those loss function, and also we have to deal with the objectiveness loss function, which is not but whether the object is present or not, if it is present right or not, like that. So we have implemented the loss function using tensors here. So we have implemented those two loss functions, and we have added those loss functions. And after writing the code for the loss functions, now it's time for to generate more images. As we know, as Abhiram has already mentioned, we are having very little amount of images. So here we have used data generator, which is nothing but that augmentation of the images. It is going to give more number of images, like it is using zoom in or like that. So we have used data augmentation, and after that we have to run the model by using the above loss functions, everything, whatever we have did. So in this function, we have mentioned whatever the customized loss function which we have written in the previous step, we have mentioned here, and also we have mentioned the learning rate equal to 0.01. So by using this, we have implemented it, and also we have used the Adam optimizer here. So, and we are saving the model in model underscore final one dot h5, and we have run the model with 100 epochs, as you can see here, and we got the loss of around 1.2120. So from this figure you can see the training loss. So in order to check, after that we have to load the model which we have saved in final one.h5. So we have loaded the model, and we are having like scaling. Like scaling is done to put the variables in their bounds. And also in YOLO we are having main thing is like non-max suppression. So non-max suppression is nothing but like suppose our model is going to give multiple boxes for single object, then we have to consider only one of the object, where the intersection over union and non-max suppression concepts plays a major role, where they will consider the major intersection of the boxes, and they will consider the highest probability of those box. So by using these concepts we have finalized the box. And after that, now we have to print the bounding box by using this function. And in the prediction we have taken some of the validation images in order to validate. So from the below function you can see here, we are having like bounding boxes after score non-max suppression, we are having like this. So bounding after non-max suppression, so you can see. So it's time for evaluation. So how much accurate and how good is our model? So in the evaluation section, we are going to deal like how much precision it's going to give and how much recall is giving our model. So we have written the function for this, and also we have written code for actual for this from this image you can see the actual boxes and the predicted boxes from this. And so what are the boxes wrong, it's going to show in this thing from this function. And finally we got the results like recall is around 79.25 and the precision is around 88.42. And you can see here the actual boxes present in those all validation set is 135, and our predicted boxes is 121, and out of those 121 the correct predicted boxes are 107. So these are the references where we have implemented this YOLO version 2. So by using this version 2, we can see like it is able to detect multiple objects in single image, which is not handled by the CNN. So this is handled by this YOLO V2, but it is not giving that much good results. So for that reason, we have gone through the version 3. So after YOLO V2 version, we have implemented YOLO V3 version. It is a complex underlying architecture, and it deals like darknet 53, and it is having 53 convolution layers. Whereas YOLO V2 is having only 19 convolution layers and 5 max pool layers. And also in YOLO V3, we are not having any max pool layers. And it is better than YOLO V2 at small image detection. And also YOLO V3 version uses a residual block, whereas YOLO V2 uses anchor boxes. So now I am going to give quick demo where we have implemented YOLO V3 on the same dataset of Bricklins. And so now I am running the file where we have implemented the code. So from this image we can see that it is giving good accurate result, like it is correctly giving the box of those brick clean. So second image, third. So in this way it is giving very good result. Like here we are having very small box, and even though the small area of the brick clean is also, it's going to identify. So brick green detection using YOLO v3 is giving the best result when compared to YOLO version 2 and also the CNN, and it is giving accuracy of around above 95 percentage. So this is the model, this is the project we have implemented in this semester. Thank you.